I may have an opportunity to relocate to a different country for a job opportunity that would allow me to stretch myself and grow. However, even though that I've long felt that I don't belong where I currently am, I also have ambivalent feelings about my potential new environment. Not just fear, there's also some constricted feeling in my chest, which I've learned to be an orange flag. I'm confused as to whether it's better to take any opportunity to change, to shake things up and welcome more chaos into my life, or whether to stay put and wait for a more fitting opportunity, which may, however, never come. As you have recently relocated yourself, do you have any advice? You know, a mentee goes up to a mentor and he says to his mentor, "Hey mentor, how do I meant to know how to make a great decision?" A mentor looks down at the mentee and says, "It's simple, make more terrible decisions." If you really look at world-class achievers, you'll notice they do more things to figure out what to actually do. Whereas if you look at dabblers of the world, they theorize, they think a lot, overplan a lot. We call that procrastination, yes. And they literally think and overthink, and they spend their entire life thinking about it. You wouldn't be asking such a question, Maximilian, unless there was a part of you that's perhaps saying, what if I was to give it a try? You know, great things about some of these decisions, you can change it up. Yes. It's about us realizing. Let me ask you this. Consider the worst case scenario, Maximilian. Consider the worst case scenario. And if you, after you've considered the worst case scenario and you reflect back on your past, can come to a level of concrete conclusion that you'll be able to be okay in that moment and figure it out, then in a lot of ways, you've got absolutely nothing holding you back from this decision. Is that making sense? And so I know in your question, you also said, you know, you recently relocated myself. I guess in a lot of ways, this is what I also came to, this realization. I could spend years thinking about this, or I could just do it. And if I don't like it, at least then I can just go back to England. Is that making sense? The only way to sometimes figure some things out is just try it, to figure out what to actually try. Yes? And the best thing about just changing up environment, because it doesn't have to be a physical relocation. When we talk about environment, we talk about sometimes just upgrading your friends. The best thing about this is all down to this. Now, if you think about human beings innately are social animals, right? So to put simply, in terms of our primal conditioning, we are herd animals. And this is why we've got this deep desire to belong. How many of you notice this desire is ingrained so heavily in you that you tend to sometimes people please? You do things not for you, but for them. And sometimes you do things that you don't even like for people you don't even like. I mean, what I'm talking about. Yes or no? So you'll notice human beings are social animals. We've got this need to belong. Right now, this environment that we're in, the friends we have, they are often controlling exactly how we think, what we do. Now, what science do we have to back this up? Well, numerous. We cite all throughout LMA. Look at stereotype threat. What did that leading scientist, what did he discover? He discovered whomever you believe you belong to in terms of friends, your actual behavior will match their behavior, so it leads to the same outcome. So if you hang around with people with toxic relationships, eventually you will be entertaining toxic relationships in your life. Are you getting this? And this is why switching up the environment, yes, is very powerful. Because let me remind you this, your habitat contains the habits. How many of you notice you could be on LMA right now, feeling incredible, right? However, if you aren't too careful, you could jump off this class and go straight back into your unconscious patterns. Yes or no? Yes or no? And that's because, remember this, your environment is a constant reminder and reaffirmation of who you've always been. The familiar people you know keeps you in familiar performances. You act different in front of different people, and those people make you always act that specific way, especially when it's limiting you. Are you getting this? Familiar places remind you to act familiar ways. So in a lot of ways, it keeps you in the familiar results, familiar mindset, familiar outcomes. Are you getting this? So it's about us realizing that the environment, yes, what you're surrounding yourself with, who you're surrounding yourself with, does matter when it comes to a level of long-lasting changes.